Everything starts with a cute little kitten there, dude. The year is 2017 in the Gyeonggi region. The big guy is walking on the little roof, everyone's heading to school, and there's a dude with blue hair in the middle of all that. Someone comments that that kid is weird. The friend in the alley of the vagabonds wants to know why. Bullhead says that's the new student who transferred recently, but he doesn't talk much. The friend asks, "What do you mean he doesn't talk?" He says it's kind of hard to explain, but it's something that goes beyond that. It's like the boy himself was silent, like deeply silent. The black-haired one still doesn't understand what he's talking about. Well, at that moment, a car passes. The protagonist looks to the side and seems to step in front of it. The driver has to slam the brakes and nearly runs him over, already cursing the bastard, wanting to know why he threw himself in front of the car out of nowhere. Our boy finally is just there, stoic, not saying a word. The black-haired guy wants to know why he threw himself in front of the car like that. And the bullhead says to take a look at his foot. Man, the kitten was going to get run over and he stepped in front of it. The dude gets out of the car to go off on the kid, gets in his face and starts yelling. Grabs him by the collar, saying that this damn student was a bastard. Must have been trying to get into an accident on purpose to get compensation money later. The black-haired guy is there watching, saying that even so, the weird kid still doesn't say a word. His friend says he already told him, man, that kid has some kind of weird illness that kills him if he opens his mouth. Ever since he got here, he's been like that. At that moment, a girl from his school comes running and calls for the uncle, asking what happened. The girl gets closer, calls out to Jijun and asks if he's okay and what happened. The old guy says that this weird kid threw himself in front of the car. That was a very obvious strategy to get money out of others. The girl looks at our boy and says she thinks he must have had some reason. Then she starts bowing, saying she apologizes on his behalf and asks to let him go just this once. She shines while begging and the guy says fine, but there wouldn't be a second time. The black-haired guy in the alley asks why Yina, the queen of class 5, wants to protect this kid. The other one holding the cat says maybe it's because they're from the same class. This kid had barely arrived and was already tiring everyone out. He asks the kitten if it agrees, but the kitten turns and grabs him, dude. Right then, it jumps down to run away, and already the second one is there staring down the two of them. The fool is lying in the alley all bloody and gives a little wave to Ariam. She, however, just gives him a little stare and turns away, man. The friend asks why she seems to have such a cold aura. The fool responds that only made her even more attractive. Just like they had the goddess Yina in class 5, they had Ariam in their class. The friend turns and says that wasn't attractive at all, he was just being ignored like a loser. The friend tells him not to worry too much, she was just a little shy. Maybe you could say she was an introverted but kind person. The only downside is that she really didn't talk much. The friend comments that apparently she was just like that weirdo who threw himself in front of the car. But Bullhead says not to compare her to that weirdo. The friend says okay, tells him to go clean up that blood while our boy is calmly heading to school. In the class, it's a mess, people sleeping here and there while he's standing still in the middle, static, stoic, not moving a single hair. Everyone's talking, telling jokes, and he's just there, man, in complete silence. Suddenly, he opens his eyes and there are some girls filming him, saying that once again he's meditating in the middle of the class. The two are there staring at him up close, saying that he's been there a month now, and since the first day he arrived, he does that meditation every day. It was impressive. To celebrate a month since he arrived, she even took a little picture and wants to know what he thinks. If he didn't like it, he just had to click the delete button. She says he doesn't need to hesitate, just because she helped him before. And then she says that since he won't delete it, that means she has permission to keep his photo and thanks him. Right at that moment, dude, someone opens the door. By the way, he gives off an intimidating aura, man, you already know that one either came to get beaten up or to throw punches. He's not gonna stay quiet. The name of the bastard is Siutaksu, and he already comes with bullying in his name. Everyone looks back, dude, the jerk with the facial filler is just standing there facing everyone. He sees from afar all the girls asking for Jijun's photo, man, telling him to send it on WhatsApp. Then he notices it was our boy and says the vibe there looked pretty nice. He asked our guy why there are always so many girls around him like that. To be honest, he says that he himself kind of looked like a girl. He grabs the guy's arm and says he should be a man, but that little arm was really feminine. What the? Is he touching his face, man? What is this? I thought the guy came looking for a fight, but I didn't think the fight he wanted was between four walls. He even says he might fall in love because he's so soft. Okay, Jijun is just standing there quietly, right? Just confused by this crazy guy. Yena tells the damn Taksu to cut it out because nobody's laughing. But he messes with our boy's hair, saying he does it because he's too cute. Then he turns to Yina and says he invited her to go to karaoke yesterday, so why didn't she show up? She gives him a hard stare and says she went to bed early because she was tired and he should understand that since she sent a message. He says, though, that they had already made plans and that even if she was tired, she should have shown up. When her boyfriend calls, she has to go because he was tired of waiting. Dang man, he already has Yina and now he wants our protagonist. Greedy, aren't you? He turns around saying that it's good she doesn't skip today and she says she'll see. Right then, another nerdy guy, who probably doesn't get beat up enough, pulls out a chair for him, dude. The freeloader flops down and spits. Then class starts with the teacher, talking about some Mediterranean civilization stuff. Sometime later, the boys seem to be playing a pretty honest foot volleyball game, and meanwhile, our boy is just sitting on the bench when someone approaches. Here comes Yina provoking again out of nowhere, saying it's way too hot. She sits real close, asking if he's not feeling hot too. She blows some breeze on his face, asking if he likes it and if he finds that refreshing. But he's just there, as always, stoic. She laughs, saying it's ironic how he never says anything. Meanwhile, Taksu is in the middle of the court, just glancing back, seeing his girlfriend acting like that toward another guy. That wouldn't make anyone happy in this world. The problem is he got distracted. The guy on the other side gives a big kick to the ball and it lands right on his cheeks. Man, but the guy just tanked it and the ball went flying. Ronaldinho apologizes, dude saying he was just trying to make a pass. Taksu turns around saying now his face got wrecked. But he claps and says it's all good. That only happened because he wasn't paying attention, and it's best to just keep the game going. At least the guy handled it maturely, though at the same time he's just staring at Jijun in the background. A while after recess, our boy is up on the rooftop, like always alone and quiet, when suddenly the door opens. Man. Dude, they cut to our dear Ronaldinho, who's apologizing, saying it was an accident. But Taksu says he knows he'll only regret it after tasting a little blood. The poor guy's legs are all shaky, and he's already on the floor. Man. Right then, Jijun gets up and one of the guys glances back and gets startled. He asks what the hell that freak is doing there out of nowhere. And then Taksu says it looks like he's going to eat alone once again. He really was a weird kid. He goes to give the fool a haircut, saying he's about to make a masterpiece. He better pay close attention. The buzzer does its job and everyone's laughing, saying this is a perfect work of art. He shows it to our boy and asks what he thinks of the masterpiece. The poor kid is just left with two little tufts of hair. Everyone is cracking up while the guy wants to know what Jijun thinks. Obviously, he says nothing, and Taksu wants to know why he's not laughing. Then he gets closer and says that for a masterpiece to be perfect, the model's look was necessary, and looking at the boy, he was sure he'd be perfect for that. Maybe it was time for him to create a masterpiece right there too. The buzzer gets closer and he asks if he doesn't want it. If he doesn't want it, he just has to say no. But if he doesn't say anything, that means yes. Obviously, our boy doesn't respond and he says it's decided then. He comes in with the buzzer saying that now he's going to look more beautiful than ever. But suddenly, Taksu's expression changes. He says it's best he be careful. Soon enough, he was going to cross a line and things would start to get weird. Then he raises the buzzer and says he won't cut it after all. He knows that if he shaves the kid's head, the girls are going to be on his case. So he turns around and tells everyone to leave. Meanwhile, the poor guy is left there with just two little hair tufts. He picks up his phone to take a look and sees the disaster that's left. Takes a little photo saying he'll leave some evidence. But he's mad that those bastards could have at least finished the job instead of leaving those tufts. Suddenly, he looks back, stands up, and asks why Jijun isn't laughing. To be honest, he also thinks it's funny, so he can just crack up. But Jijun is just there, stoic. The guy says he really is different from the others. If it were him sitting on that bench and he saw someone with that haircut, he'd die laughing. He steps away, saying he's thankful that our boy isn't laughing at his face. At the school exit, it's raining and everyone is at the entrance waiting for the rain to pass, wondering if they'll get home soaking wet. Some at the front run out while Orium has her little umbrella. She glances to the side and sees Jijun calmly walking in the rain like it's sunny out. Suddenly someone calls him. It's the little bullhead showing up saying Taksu wants to have a chat and it's best if he comes along. Right after that, the four of them are there waiting for him. Taksu already says he was looking forward to seeing the great popular guy in class. He really was still looking beautiful after being soaked in the rain. This guy, man, I don't know if he wants to fight or if he wants to. Never mind. Right then, Yina turns and asks why he called Jijun there. Taksu, however, tells her to calm down. He just wants to check something. Then he throws her phone to the ground and asks if he saw that. He wants to know why our boy's face is his girlfriend's wallpaper. Guess what Jijun did? Nothing. Dude just stood there in silence staring at Taksu, who says he doesn't know if he's being petty, but he wants to understand this situation. To be honest, this Taksu, aside from the haircut, is the most chill bully so far, man. He took a soccer ball to the face, didn't do much, just complimented our boy's looks, and really the one causing all of this is Yina, who keeps flirting with our guy even though she has a boyfriend. And she even tells Taksu that she's only using him as wallpaper because he has a cool vibe. The guy, obviously confused, asks if it's really just that. Yina gets close to our boy, grabs him by the arm and tells him to just go. This had nothing to do with him. She'd see him at school tomorrow, so it was best for him to leave. Then Taksu asks why the bastard girl is taking the side of that damn bastard. She was even flirty in front of him. She turns, saying he's the loser, and he needs to stop crossing the line. Holy hell, take back what I said. Taksu slapped her hard in the face, my god. The girl spun like 380 degrees and even got blood on Jijun's face. Man, at that moment, he felt something strange inside. And Taksu asks why the damn girl is siding with that kid in front of her own boyfriend. Then he gets in our boy's face and says that it looks like he already knows all the girls like him. He wants to know if, by any chance, he's interested in Yina. She was pretty cute after all, even if she had a bad temper. If Jijun were honest and said what he wanted, he'd even hand her over to the kid. You sure he must be really into her? So just say it. Yina, still on the ground, laughs at that whole thing about them being boyfriend and girlfriend. She wasn't with someone who throws parties and buys drinks for other girls and still makes bets on social media. He turns angry, saying he already apologized for that damn mess. It was his friends who invited and set up that situation. He wasn't to blame for any of it. Yana says whatever, he wasn't worthy of being her boyfriend anymore, so it's over. Man, but then he hit her with Ronaldinho's kick right in the stomach. Even Jijun felt the pressure from the impact. Dude, the poor girl is trembling all over. All twisted, Yena says that it really is the end for the two of them, that she must have been crazy in the head to ever date him. But he just grabs her by the collar and asks to give her permission to break up with him. Okay, that's how it is, fine then. But she just says she doesn't care. If he wants to hit her again, he can go ahead. He says fine then, they'd settle this now. But when he goes to punch her, man, his arm gets blocked. Jijun had thrown his shoulder over it and Taksu wants to know what he thinks he's doing. Looks like Jijun really was interested in her. He goes into punch saying he already warned him not to cross the line. And man, the punch lands square on his cheek. I thought he'd dodge, I thought he'd pull something epic. But Taksu says he doesn't stand a chance. In our boy's mind, he remembers a blonde girl telling him to come to his senses. He snaps out of it, plants his feet, and manages to stay standing. Taksu, though, goes in for another, wanting to know how the hell the bastard tanked that. Since that's how it is, he wouldn't hold back anymore. And man, hits him square in the solar plexus, the kind of shot that knocks anyone out, and I think it hurt. Or maybe not, because Jijun is just staring back cold. Taksu goes in to throw another one, telling the bastard to die. But this time, Jijun dodges and lands a clean one on the jaw, not a hard spot to hit. Man, that one spun him like 3 times and he went face first into the asphalt. The friends are off to the side calling out to Taksu, while Yina looks shocked asking what Jijun is doing. Well, defending himself, right girl? The fool's getting up, already spitting out a tooth, and then takes a snap kick to the chin. The friends try to step in, saying he must be asking to get beaten up. But man, if the main side character with a name has no chance, these poor guys are just taking dodges and jaw servings. One of them grabs a metal rod to hit him in the head, but takes a spin kick right in the chest. One more to the ground. Bullhead is just standing there, dude hasn't done anything up to now. While Taksu just wants to know what the hell Jijun even is. He's just there, dude, standing in the rain staring like a demon, and takes another straight to the face. The fool groans, but gets another one man. Punches flying until Yina comes to stop him, saying if he keeps going, the guy's gonna die. He hesitates for a second there. Lightning strikes, and he gets up all in swag mode. Dude, full-on psycho face. Yina calls out to him again, but man, he just throws on his backpack and walks off. Bullhead and the girl are left asking themselves what he even is. The story says some people could feel it. Behind Jijun's silence was a deep darkness. Then we see a bit earlier back when Bullhead called our boy. Ariam had heard all of it and saw him being taken to the alley. She thought it was suspicious, man, and decided to follow. Curious little sneak. She peeked around, and when she got there, all she could hear was our boy serving chin shots to everyone. From a distance, she could hear the bones cracking dude until something got close. Someone put a hand on the wall. It was our guy, all bloody. He glanced to the side and saw her hiding there. She gave a little look from under the umbrella. Trembling, she offers her little umbrella to him. But he gives her that classic stare, turns around and walks off, man. Left her in the rain like a chump. Next day, full-on sunny day. The kids in class are wondering where the pretty boy and Taksu are. Why did both of them skip? The girls were already complaining, saying the place feels too empty without Jijun there. Meanwhile, Yina, yeah, she knows it was her fault things ended up this way. Then the scene shifts to under a bridge. A guy says he doesn't even know what to think. Ever since he left, he's been drinking and partying like crazy. But now they're saying he ended up in the hospital. How does that make any sense? He tells the kid to just say it. What's his condition? Bullhead says his face is full of fractures and looks like he's gonna be in the hospital for a while. He even asked for no one to visit him because it's too embarrassing. The guy asks how many got beaten, and he says 4 people. That guy with the piercings, that's Cam Doyle. He says he's sure there's no way Taksu would lose physically, so who the hell is this person? Bullhead explains that it's a mysterious kid named Jaijan, a student who transferred in but doesn't talk much, don't know much about him either. The angry guy asks if he's seriously saying they got beat up by some stranger. That's embarrassing. Right away, the big fat dude grabs him by the neck and asks why his face is intact if everyone else got beaten. The poor guy, trembling, says it's because he thought 5 against 1 would be too unfair. He thought the 4 of them would win. The guy slams him into the wall and says he's making stuff up. Then Kang wants to know what school this kid came from. Bullhead says nobody knows. To this day, he's never even heard of the guy's voice. He's like a mute. Takes another slap on the head, being called useless. The big guy then orders him to describe what he looks like. You better give details that make him easy to identify visually. Here we go, you already know, right? The guy's blushing, says he doesn't want to admit it, but, well, he's like a handsome guy, like a model. He was handsome enough that all the girls kept talking about him. On top of that, he gave off the vibe of coming from a rich family. Not to mention, he had charisma and beautiful eyes. The guy slaps his back, asking what the deal is between the two of them and if he fell in love. Meanwhile, Kang is interested in a guy who just arrived, is extremely silent and beat-up Taksu. Charismatic, good-looking, and also a good fighter. That's a rare combo. Yup, already trembling, saying what even is that guy to him. Man, in this story, everyone's peculiar. Next day, there's our boy once again silently arriving at school. He heads to his locker and Bullhead is keeping an eye on him, remembering that Kang ordered him to find out everything he could about this kid. Guy's being stared at, and obviously he said, man, this is too much. But now he's questioning why he'd accepted something like this. Right when Jijun opens his locker, he sees a phone inside. A memory pops up, man. He looks at it, picks it up, and sees there's a message saying congratulations. Someone saying he'd received a free phone. It was old, but at least he could install WhatsApp, Facebook, and chat. The person says they'd listen to any problem he wanted to share and asks him to send a message soon. He looks around and Bullhead hides, wondering if he's been discovered. But Jijun looks the other way, and guess who's standing there with a little phone in hand, right? Just by the hair, you know. Yeah, she's clearly in love. He looks at the screen while she's standing there red like a tomato, waiting for the boy to message her. Bullhead's wondering what he's going to do, and then Jijun just puts the phone on top of the locker and walks away, man. The guy rushes over, grabs it to check, and sees it's an old model. Clearly wasn't him. He's kind of confused, wondering why Jijun discarded it and why it wasn't locked. But suddenly, someone shoulder checks him, man, and he hits his face on the locker. The girl grabs the phone and vanishes. The poor guy is all twisted, trying to figure out who that crazy girl was. Meanwhile, one of Yena's friends is saying that her aunt has a poodle that had a baby, and it's too cute, and she wants to adopt it. But clearly, Yena isn't listening to a thing. The friend tells her to stop zooming out and focus. Embarrassed, she says she is focused, but the other one already calls her out, says she's lying. Bet she's thinking about Jijun, who's absent again. Blushing, she says no, she doesn't think about him like that all the time. But right then, her friend's face suddenly turns red too, calling out the name Jijun. There he is, the badass, standing right in front of them, man. One look from him and Yena is already frozen there, not knowing what to say. She hands everything to her friend, tells her to wait there, and runs toward him. Out of nowhere, jumps in and gives him a hug, dude. Everyone around is kind of confused, while Yena is already crying, saying she was really worried about him and asking if he's okay. He had saved her, and that was something she would never forget. She would be grateful to him forever. Bullhead is off to the side, watching and seeing that it's confirmed the girls are in love with him. He decides then to make another note. The information he's gathered, he arrives late to school, most of the girls like him, and he still doesn't speak. That's it. With that, another school day ends and there's our stoic guy walking home. On the way though, there's a guy on a motorcycle smoking a cigarette, just staring. Right away, he's sure, from the looks, it could only be the kind of bastard who likes to show off. He whistles, calls out to the one with glasses, who gets on the bike, man, and the two head toward our boy. One on each side corners him and asks if he's that guy Jejun. Our boy gives that signature stare, right? As if he were gonna answer, right? And then the one with glasses says exactly that. Since he's not answering, it must be Jaijun. The boss wanted to have a little chat, so it'd be best if he got on the bike. The other one asks if he's ever heard of Kang Doyle from Haesoon School, a legendary at the top 3 as soon as he entered the second year. There's not a single bastard in this city who doesn't know his name. And the school they come from, man, isn't a place for losers like the one they're studying in now. And it's that same Kang who wants to meet him, so it'd be good for him to hop on. But the boy does nothing. The guy tells him to stop being scared. He wasn't being called to get beaten up. It was just to hop on. This was still a friendly invitation. The one in the classes asks if he's deaf too and tells him again to hop on the back. These guys are sounding like they want to get a little too close to Jijun. Our boy starts to turn away and the guy grabs his backpack, asking if he's really going to insist. Looks like he'll have to break both his legs so he'll move. But Jijun gives him that little stare and the guy lets go of the backpack and walks off like he doesn't care about anything. The dude drops the backpack saying that bastard is a freak and both rev up the motorcycle heading toward him. But he had already gone into the alley and the first guy tries to make a maneuver and slams his shoulder into the wall. The other one manages to handle the move better, dude, but Jijun was already climbing the stairs and the bastard comes charging. Man, is he really going up the stairway on the bike? Jaijun though just gives a little nudge to a trash bag dude and then a kick straight to the guy's chin. Sends the idiot flying with the bike, crashes into his friend. Both of them roll down the stairs, a motorcycle on the ground, almost die, completely wrecked. Right away, the dude, dedicated as always, tells the other to get up and go after that bastard. He starts running up the stairs. Man, the kid is like a ghost. You see him in the corner, but when you get there, he's gone. Then you look to the side. He's going down the stairs, but when you grab the shoulder, it's just some other ugly weirdo. Poor guy even got the other one mad and took a free beating, dude. Nearby was also Jaijun Batman, man, hands in his pocket, staring down at the two from above. Turns and heads home. Back at the bridge, the two idiots soften their tone, apologizing. Kang asks if the bastard refused the invitation, and the guys say that unfortunately, yeah, he was kind of sneaky, but they almost caught him. The big buff guy stomps, wanting to know how it's possible that two people couldn't bring in a single kid. The guy, all twisted, says it's because they got caught in a maze on a stairway and ended up getting lost. Meanwhile, Kang's just saying that the more he tries to catch this kid, the more interesting he gets. He asks Sumin if he found anything. There he comes with his notes all awkward, saying he observed all day but isn't sure if it'll be useful. Kang takes a look, late to school, girls like him, and he doesn't speak, then gives him a stare asking if that's really the work he managed to do. The buff guy asks if the bastard wants to get beaten, and there he is doing push-ups too. Kang then says to let them go, but tells Bullhead he's giving him one last chance to bring that kid to the back exit of the school. He better at least manage that much. And Dazik wanted to make sure he'd obey. Tomorrow, that kid wouldn't have a choice. He was going to meet him. The guy just responds that he guarantees it's taken care of. Meanwhile, poor Bullhead man doesn't understand why he's getting involved in all this if he doesn't even know who Jaejun really is. Next day, Bullhead is holding 2 grape juices and the friends think he bought them for himself, but he just turns to the fool and says he'd never buy anything for an idiot like him. It's for someone else. A friend asks who it's for, and right then Bullhead sees him from behind and already latches onto our boy, saying good morning to Jaejun and saying as always he looks amazing. Here's a little drink to help him relax. Our boy gives him a stare and Bullhead says he's probably getting the wrong idea. He's not friends with those Kang guys or any of those gangs. That's why he's even there to say thanks for him having taken care of those guys. Seeing those fools getting beaten up made him feel good, and that's why he's offering this drink. But Jaejun, as always, ignores him and walks off. Bullhead knew it wasn't going to be as easy as he expected, but somehow he had to bring this kid to the back of the school. If not, he'd be the one getting beat by Dazik. The school day starts and there's our boy at his usual desk, calm while everyone's messing around. He is up a while later when the place is empty, while Bullhead is just there, watching. Looks like during the break he's going to grab his snack, and as always, heads to his territory on the upper floor. Man. Once there, Minnie Stalker had left her phone again and sent a little message asking if he was going to eat alone. The bastard hadn't done anything, and the girl's already trembling red. He looks at the phone and she's there, sending 200 messages, wanting to know if he always eats alone up there. She said she also sometimes likes eating alone and saw him there, and because of that, she wanted to talk. He looks to one side, and then a message comes in saying she's on the other. He looks to the other, and there's a little hand waving. Oh, that troublemaker. Being good-looking sure makes life easier, huh man? He literally hasn't done anything, and the girl's doing everything she can to chase him. God really has favorites, huh? Some are born good-looking and others born upside down. Then she hides her hand and apologizes, saying she doesn't feel comfortable meeting lots of people. She heard he doesn't talk much either, and she's kind of the same. What she's curious about is why he doesn't speak. The thumb seems to be typing something, but then suddenly someone calls out to Jaejun. It's that bastard Bullhead, saying it's such a coincidence how often they've been bumping into each other lately. He came there to eat some bread alone, but since he ran into a friend, they could eat together. Our boy's just there, calm, sipping his little soda in total silence. Meanwhile, the Orium Stalker girl is just staring, hoping for a message from the boy. Then our boy looks to the side and sees Bullhead trembling and crying. He blurts out through tears that unfortunately, he has no friends. That's the only reason he tries to hang out with Takshu and the other guys. He didn't want to be someone isolated, you know? He's scared of being alone. Maybe the two of them, who are both loners, should stick together. But man, Jaejun is just there, static, doesn't even look at the guy. Bullhead is nearly dying of frustration, wondering why nothing works on this damn kid. He even managed to force out some tears, you know, from deep down where there's no reaction. Then Jaejun gets up and starts walking away, poor guy. But the bastard grabs his arm and begs him to wait, desperately asking if they can be friends. But Jaejun just keeps walking, dragging the guy along, dude. Walked off, slammed the door, and left him abandoned. Messages are coming to his phone from Dazik asking why they still haven't shown up and where the kid is. Bullhead is biting his nails, man. If he doesn't bring that kid, he's the one who's going to get beaten. So he runs out of the classroom desperate, saying he still has a chance. He looks around the classroom, doesn't see the kid, until he spots the lunatic sitting on top of one of the desks. Bullhead's already all red, wondering if the bastard is filming a commercial. Then he gets startled. Maybe it's another message from Dazik asking where he is. The kid gathers his courage and once again calls out to Jaejun. He says he's happy he's here. He sent a message to his mom, who was really proud that he finally made a friend. She even asked to meet him downstairs because she wants to see who her son's new friend is. And he wanted, right, that he please respect that request. It's nothing serious. Jaejun remains silent while Bullhead is sure that any human would accept a request like that. He's not going to turn that down. He sees our boy thinking and believes he's contemplating whether to go or not. But to be honest, it doesn't really look like he wants to. Then Bullhead just pushes it, saying they're friends and it'll be quick, so no problem. But Ariam is just watching from the side, and yeah, the stalker is dangerously alert. So he starts leading our boy down the path, saying this is the fastest way to get there. While mentally, he's apologizing, saying that in this neighborhood, man, if you're too innocent, you won't survive. He takes out his phone, messages someone, and once again apologizes. And there's Dazik, smiling as he receives the message. He walks toward the two and passes by, bumping his shoulder into our boy. Man, the kid went all limp and the guy already grabbed him by the backpack, telling him to be more careful and saying that walking like that, he's going to end up getting knocked over. What the hell, dude? Before our boy could do anything, the guy already yanked him by the backpack and slammed him into the wall. The guy steps in close and says it's a pleasure to meet him, grabs him by the neck and says he really does have a pretty face. Here comes another one. But on the other hand, it seems like those skills people talked about were kind of exaggerated. Until Jijun puts his foot on his chest and pushes him back. Our boy lands on his feet, but the little phone he got bounces on the ground and was heading for the storm drain. He gets distracted seeing that, and at the same moment, Daisy comes in to throw a punch. Man, he's forced to pull his arms up to defend, but even so, the impact hits hard. At least with that block, he managed to throw his foot back and knock the phone away from the drain. The guy clenches his fists and says it's time to finish him, stares him down and asks if he really thinks he can win with their size difference. And our boy's just there. As always, guess what? Silent. While Bullhead is off in the distance apologizing, saying that if he gets beat quickly, Dazik will stop right away. The bastard comes running to shoulder charge him, but our boy just grabs his backpack and uses it as a shield. Still gets slammed into the wall, but it looked manageable. Dazik then says that he's actually a little smarter than he looks. Our boy empties the backpack, the guy charges in again, and he pulls a flip to the side, tosses the strap around his foot, yanks from behind, and drops Dazik flat on his back. The guy goes to yell, calling him a bastard, but then comes a punch landing right beside the skull. The guy freezes right there, huh man? And then Dazik sees the guy standing over him with a big old foot on the back of his neck and wonders if he's trying to act all high and mighty. Man, he tries to get up, but our boy throws in a spinning blow, whacking him on top of the head. And I don't know if it was once or if it was twice, but from afar, Bullhead is there, terrified, wondering how the hell he's beating up Dazik. The poor guy already had his face more smashed than in a selfie, smoke coming out, not understanding what just happened. Then our boy just gets up, glances back, picks up the phone, but the bastard is coming like a monkey on two legs, saying this ain't over yet. Our boy turns around to try to defend himself, but ends up dropping the phone. Right then, he grabs it and says that from the looks of it, this thing seems important to him. All he came here to do was bring him to Kang Doyle. It's a shame he won't be able to deliver the kid beaten up. Then he calls someone, the bike guys show up, and he hops on, saying that if he wants this phone, he'll have to go to Sigusha Park. His welcome party was already prepared. The bike revs up and takes off, and right then, Bullhead comes up trying to make small talk, asking if he's hurt and what happened. He really was close to getting beaten up, but what's he gonna do now if those guys have his phone? If he doesn't go now to get it back, all the information could be leaked. He could forget about meeting his mom and go straight to the park. Our boy, as always, is just there in silence. Bullhead thinks, man, he did more than 120% of his job. He doesn't know if the bastard will go or not, but there's nothing more he can do. Then Jijun gets up and starts walking. Since his house is in the other direction, Bullhead figures he's actually going. Scene shifts to our boy climbing a staircase, man. He walks past the burnouts there, all smoking and cutting their lifespan short. When he gets to the top, yup, a proper reception is waiting. Just a bunch of K-pop dancer lookalikes with colored hair and piercings all over their faces. Our boy, though, is just standing there, still, staring at everyone. In the back is the bastard Kang Doyle, saying that finally something good showed up. He already shows the phone and asks if he came for that. Jijun says nothing as always and walks toward him. Kang says that it didn't seem like there was anything important on the phone. Not a single saved contact and no call history. The only thing the damn thing had were some texts from a girl who seems to have her eyes on him. But considering he came all the way there to get the phone back, it must mean something to him. Jijun stretches out his hand and Kang asks what it is. Was she his girlfriend or were they just messing around? Now he's super curious. He even sent her a message himself since he got kind of frustrated seeing the sweet talk between them. He didn't need to worry. What he told her would help things get moving. Considering that Stalker's already in love, man, he couldn't imagine what he could offer that she wouldn't accept. But with Ariam, the only problem is that the message the bastard sent didn't sound like our boy. He sent a hey saying he was super lonely and asking if she wanted to meet him. If she went to the city park, she'd officially become his girlfriend starting today.